collision damage on those.
His right click is crazy.
His right click is crazy.
So,
That's
okay,
his barrier.
Let me explain it to chat. When you right click once, it goes out kind of like the old Symmetra shield, right? And then you tap right click again and it stops.
But you're right click and holding, you're controlling, unlike the Symmetra shield, which just went out at its own velocity, you're actually controlling where the shield goes. You want to have some fun, aim it up in the sky. Pretend there's Farah there.
Oh, that's going to be weird.
Yeah. Or, you know, those times, like, think of Watchpoint Gibraltar, the first little stretch there when you're trying to round the corner and everybody bunkers up top, and you can put your barrier and sort of block them.
So how the control works for those in chat, pretty much you hold right click and it goes out, and when you let go of right click, it stops.
Back to me. And then you can bring it back to
And then
yourself.
when you tap right click again, it'll bring it back in so you can toss it in a new direction. It's like this. You can bring it back, put it over here, bring it back, put it over there. You can go very fast. Like if you just do it all in one go, you could probably go even faster, but it's pretty
they're
crazy.
already calling it broken.
I know. Of course they are. Well, everything,
that's what I love to see.
Broken.
It's broken.
Okay, so we've seen
it's OP. It's really hard to use. Like and again, it's not an Orisa barrier, so you're not getting 1500 health every time you
because it's Reinhardt, because you have to pull it back and then you have to put it back in a new spot. So, quick example, these guys don't do too much damage. You can kind of see 1400, right? I pull it back, put a new spot, still 1400, still 1400, right? Does it only regenerate when it's away, similar to Reinhardt shield?
Yeah, you have to bring it back.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I bring it back. Same exact regeneration rate as what kind of reminds me of Reinhardt.
Very
okay,
similar.
so let's test out his ultimate. I don't.
Straight to the ult. Straight to the ult.
All right, let's do this guy. This bot is the chosen one. Wait, what? So you go into the sky.
So there's a lot to explain about that one. We can break it down if you want.
I go in the sky.
You go in the sky.
I put down basically a black hole on the ground, and then after a couple seconds, whoever is still in it takes a ton of damage.
Well, first they get suspended.
Oh yeah, because they get knocked into the sky.
Which is similar. It's similar to like a Zarya Graviton or a Junkrat Trap, where they have some. They can still attack you back when they're up in the air.
Yeah.
But they're up in the air. It's also a very nice distance for him to hit with his hyperspheres when they're up in the air. And then at the end of the duration, they get slammed down for 50% of their max health.
Oh, 50% of max health?
50% of max health. There's a bug on the PTR where these training bots, they just explode in the air. But you'll see when you start playing later today that you'll go up and 50% of max health.
So pretty much, you go into the sky, you put down a black hole on the ground, everyone goes in the air. If they remain in the air or in the zone after 2 seconds, they get slammed down for 50% of their max HP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what you're going to see is when they're in the air, they're extremely vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's not the slam down that's the problem a lot of the time.
They're stuck. Well, can they just walk out of it a little bit? So, like, I'll just do it on this guy again. So, instantly you go into this guy, right? And this kind of gives you... You can actually fly straight up with it if you wanted. He's going to get knocked into the sky, right? And you get to shoot him, do whatever you want. And, well, his knockdown got prevented by the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to see these bots hit the ground. I think these are bugged on the PTR.
Yeah, they are.
But, yeah.
These are bugged bots.
Yeah. Bugged bots.
On live, they don't take damage until they hit the ground.
Until they hit the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very soon, people get to play.
Yeah, and this is very similar for people wondering on the receiving end, because obviously, like, the ultimate looks really, really overpowered.
Yeah.
As does every ultimate, or as should every ultimate look and feel that way. But it's very similar, I would say, to Doomfist, Meteor Strike.
Yeah.
Where on the receiving end, you have some time and warning. It's very obvious when Sigma's doing this, and you kind of go into run mode when you hear that, and
try and get out of the range.
You scatter.
Gotcha. So now I guess it's finally time to show Shift again. So let's look at Shift next.
Okay. Shift. We're going to want to go over to these little guys right here.
Am I grabbing the enemy...
Bullets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enemy projectiles and bullets?
Yes. Now, do it and then watch your health and shields in the lower left.
Okay, 2, 1. Wait for the next burst right here. Oh. Did I just eat that and get the health?
You're eating that, and you can gain, and it's tough because these guys don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, these guys don't do any damage, right?
But if you can take up to 400 shield damage, and you'll build, so you can come away from that ability with 800. So
health. In other words, it converts damage taken to absorb to like to shields.
Yes, and that's called kinetic grasp.
So in other words,
you know physics.
It's like if I just get this real quick, right, and I let go, I'll get 413 HP.
Yeah.
But imagine if that was a bunch of enemies shooting me right then, right?
Yeah. Like imagine this in a competitive match.
Yeah.
It's kind of that Zarya effect where when you see Sigma do this ability, you should stop shooting.
Yeah.
It's not as devastating as Zarya because he's not turning it back into. It's a good tanky survivable moment. Think of like you know how Orisa can do her fortify in those sort of
yeah.
I was gonna say a bad word, but the OSH moments, you know, when Orisa like I'm gonna hit the button now, it's the same for him where I need a big amount of survivability.
But you have to time it offensively to the enemy team.
Yes.
In terms of you have to wait until you're taking a burst damage, you block it, and you turn the block into heals.
Yeah.
Well, not heals. Does it do
shields.
healing and shields, or is it just shields?
It's only shields, and it's very similar to like the Lucio drop the beat shields, where it's basically like you can even see from the dark blue.
It looks like
it's the temp shields, and then they will decay over time.
So that's his main survivability mechanic. As his main
that and the
defensive
barrier.
cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has barrier. He can throw spheres, which bounce.
Yeah.
And then we have essentially an active mitigation via
Active
the block.
mitigation. Yeah.
And that gives you additional HP turns damage taken into shields. And now, what's the E? Let's
The
see.
E, it's called Accretion. And so all of our physics majors know what that means.
What was that? Let me see this. That looks so cool. Hold on. I want to do it on a full
Hit the
HP
guy
target.
from afar.
This
yeah,
one?
Yeah.
That looks sick.
Yeah. The further you hit your target, the more of a knockdown it does. If you hit a target really close, it's just damage.
Yeah.
If you hit a target really far away, not only is it damage, but it also does some CC to it.
Does it knock them back or down?
Both.
But only if you hit them really far away. Because if you do a close range like this,
it's very well.
he's
That
weak.
guy just
he was 1 HP,
exploded.
Yeah.